Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today in support of the bipartisan resolution, Resolution 676, offered by my friends Chairman Ed Royce and Ranking Member Elliot Engel of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. And I want to thank my friend from Florida, my friend from California, for leading us in this conversation today. Less than 2 weeks ago, on December 28th, protests began in towns and villages throughout Iran. These quickly and organically grew to become the largest anti-government demonstrations the country has witnessed since those remarkable demonstrations in the summer of 2009. Iranian citizens have taken to the streets to decry the regime's corruption, economic mismanagement, and destabilizing activities abroad, including support for such groups, terrorist groups as Hezbollah. The Iranian people, the good men and women seeking relief from the failings of the current regime, deserve our support. Their voices deserve to be heard. Not surprisingly, the response of the regime in Tehran to these protests have been predictably draconian. News reports suggest dozens of Iranians have been killed. In the crackdown on protesters, more than 1,000 Iranians have been arrested. In an effort to silence the protesters, the Iranian government has blocked access to social media platforms used to organize and spread the word of the demonstrations. This most recent crackdown is part of a long history of human rights abuses by the Iranian government, both at home and throughout the violent repression, and abroad through funding of groups who support terror. Mr. Speaker, I am proud that last month the House passed my amendment to the Iranian Leadership Asset Transparency Act to help crack down on the Iranian human rights abusers and to ensure U.S. sanctions are best positioned to improve the human rights situation in Iran. This is but one step. We need to do more to stop Iran's repression and persecution of different religious faiths, including Sunni Muslims, Christians, and Baha'is. We need to do more to stop the Iranian regime's arbitrary and unlawful killings, and we must do more to protect the Iranian people's right to freedom of expression. I have 15 seconds.
Gentleman, 30 seconds.
Gentleman's recognized for 30 additional seconds.
This resolution is an opportunity for the American people to stand with the peaceful Iranian protesters and condemn the malign activities of the oppressive Iranian regime. In the days ahead, I urge this administration to hold the Iranian regime accountable to its international human rights obligations, as well as work with our allies at the United Nations to condemn and sanction Iran for its ongoing human rights violations. The government in Iran is seeking to silence its people. Today's resolution shows we are watching and that we stand with the people of Iran. I urge my colleagues to support this important resolution, and I thank my colleague Brad Sherman for the extra time.
Gentleman yields back. Gentleman from California.